Live from sunny Miami, Florida, it's TaxMan Tonight.
Hey guys, TaxMan here. Over the years, gaming has brought us scores of excellent titles. In this day and age, finding a great game is easy, unless you're broke. Today, I'm highlighting 5 great games you can play right now on your computer, for free. A few things to note: this isn't a top 5 list, it's just a few games I think are worth checking out. Also, for this video, I'm only looking at original titles, not emulators or fan games. I'm hoping a few of these are new to you, so without further ado, 5 free games you can play on PC right now. I've never really been interested in full-scale MMORPGs, because I like having a life. And unless I'm playing Mario, fun with numbers, I'd rather not go through all the calculations and stat comparisons of your average MMO. Realm of the Mad God is a browser-based game that condenses all of the best parts of MMOs into about a 20 to 30 minute experience. Your goal, in a server along with up to 80 other adventurers, is to defeat all the mini-bosses across the map and trigger an event to defeat the Mad God. You level up, find better weapons, armor, and spells for the class you choose. The combat is basically a bullet hell. You aim with a mouse and use the directional keys to dodge bullets. And you better dodge those bullets, because your character has permadeath, upon which you lose all your character's levels and items. This would be rage quit worthy in any other MMO, except in this game, it's not that big of a deal, because it only really takes about half an hour to get to the max level 20 again. The more you play and complete class-specific missions, the more classes you unlock. In my opinion though, the starting class, the Wizard, is the best one. But all of them are worth giving a whirl at least once. TaxMan tip: if you find yourself carrying lots of really good loot, you can go back to the Nexus at any time and drop it in your storage chest. This way, if you die, at least your next character can start with decent equipment. I know I said I wasn't going to cover any fan games, but even though this next game wears its inspiration on its sleeve, Legend of Princess does an awesome job of looking and playing great all on its own. It's made by Konjac, the guy who made Noi to Love and the upcoming Iconoclasts. Konjac is a super talented sprite artist, programmer, and designer, and this short homage to the Zelda franchise is a great example of all those things. You hack and slash your way through a 2D side-scrolling dungeon, solving puzzles, finding hidden treasure chests, and defeating parodies of classic Zelda enemies like Octorok, Keese, Tektite, Armos, Zora, Wallmaster, and a few great bosses I won't spoil. Well, except for that one. Anyway, at the main menu, you can choose a variety of classic Zelda weapons that will allow you to access different secrets and even changes one of the boss fights. The whole game is short, around 30 to 45 minutes to beat, but the various items give it some nice replay value. TaxMan tip: the controls in the menu have a joypad option available. I highly recommend it. Back in 2007, Gunbound was my jam, if you spell jam like this. It's a downloadable game where your avatar rides on these cute little mobiles, each with unique abilities and power-ups. The goal of the game for you and your team is to kill the enemy players by bringing their health to 0 or by making them fall off the world. The players take turns moving, angling the shot, and shooting until all the other team's cute animals have been destroyed. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This is just like Worms. Well, I've never played Worms. I've heard this game is based on it, but I've also heard that Gunbound has some unique elements to it as well. So y'all can just go back to drinking your haterade. You level up as you play, allowing you to compete with higher level players. You also get in-game money, which you can use to buy clothes and accessories that upgrade your character's stats in the shop. Gunbound also wait, is that Mario? And Luigi? What? One Piece? Naruto? Dragon Ball Z? Sonic? That's totally Sonic. I'm not crazy, right? That doesn't even look like a werewolf. Holy copyright infringement, Batman. I don't know what South Korean law is, but I'm pretty sure they didn't get the rights to any of this stuff. Also, why are children under the pets category? Anyways, Gunbound was great in my day. It seems the game's been left to the wayside for a few years though. It's important to note it took me a lot of tinkering and sifting through a broken launcher just to get the game running on my Windows 8 computer. I had so many failed attempts to input a valid username that literally my last attempt was the one that worked. If you're not up for all that, maybe it's better just stick to Worms. But if you got the time and the patience and can overlook the vast copyright infringement, Gunbound is definitely worth hours of fun. TaxMan tip: pay attention to the wind before making a shot. It's essential to landing a hit. It's crazy to think that one of the best games, in my opinion, to come out of the last decade is completely free. No, not that one. Go copyright the word jerks or something. If you want a game that has a rich story, with characters you care about and solid gameplay, I can't recommend Cave Story any more than I do. Cave Story is a Metroid-esque 2D side-scroller with an emphasis on shooting and platforming. It's got an interesting weapon leveling mechanic that encourages you not to get hit and makes it even harder when you do get hit. Speaking of difficulty, this game is hard, but it's fair. There was never a point where I felt that the game didn't provide me sufficient tools or information to overcome a boss or a level. The most interesting thing about the game, though, is actually the story behind its creation. Cave Story was created over the span of 5 years entirely by one man from Japan, who goes by the alias Pixel. In his spare time, he did all of the programming, art, music, level design, everything. That fact alone tells you that this game was entirely a labor of love, and it absolutely shows. As a whole, the game is beautiful, challenging, endearing, and just fun. My advice is to play the game blind the first time with as little help as possible. There's so many options you make along the way that affect the game's story and length. Most likely, on your first run, you won't get anywhere near the true ending. When I got the quickest ending, I thought Cave Story was a decent game. But when I later found out that I had only played through half of the game, and replayed it with a little help from a guide, I loved Cave Story. This is easily in my top 10 of all-time gaming. If you haven't played it, what are you waiting for? It's free. But if you want to support the creator by buying the game on Steam or WiiWare, that's cool too. TaxMan tip: getting to the true ending basically comes down to asking yourself this question: how is Curly? When I talk about Grow, I can't pick just one of these cute, unique Flash games, so I'm going to highlight the entire series. There's Grow 1, 2, and 3, Cannon, Tower, Cube, RPG, Clay, Maze, and several mini-Grow games. The creator, Owen, not Owen, has stated he originally created these games for his toddler son, who absolutely loved them. I can see why. The Grow series has a really cute and unique art style. The gameplay is very accessible and easy to understand. In the main Grow series, the concept is simple. You're presented with various items you choose to use every turn. Depending on how each item interacts with the others and how it levels up over time will determine whether you can get the objects to create a completely leveled up contraption, or Rube Goldberg, or organism, or even a Christmas tree. Owen puts all of these games for free on his site, eyesmaze.com, along with a lot of other really quirky mini-games that are bursting with originality. I played the latest entry, Grow Maze, for the first time, just with the intention of capturing a little footage and that's it. But I ended up getting so into it, I actually played through the whole thing. There's something really special about Owen's games. They're relaxing and innocent. There's no violence or vulgarity in them. The challenge of these games is less about failing and more about exploring the strange world and figuring out its rules. I can suggest the Grow series for lots of unique occasions. Maybe you're looking for a relaxing game you can play on a lazy Sunday afternoon, or a game you can play with a small child, or a game you can share with a friend or relative that only occasionally plays games. TaxMan tip: I know it's tempting, but don't look up the solutions. At least until you give it a few playthroughs and realize you have absolutely no clue what you're doing. So, there's my list of PC games you can play right now for free. The links are in the description below. If you know of some more PC games I didn't cover, feel free to suggest them in the comments. I'm always looking out for hidden gems. Thank you for liking and subscribing. TaxMan out.